I'm sitting here in my bed and I'm thinking about what I've seen today. And it wasn't really an extraordinary day. Nothing bizarre happened. But I gave a friend of mine a ride to the doctor's office, and I was sitting in the office waiting room, the lobby area, while he was seeing the doctor. And I was waiting with his daughter, who was a little 1 year old, and they had headline news on the television. Headline news with some golf magazines and some Web MD magazines laying around the lobby, the waiting room. They had a hunting magazine, which I appreciated. But I was listening, I had to look at headline news. And of course, that's part of CNN. And supposedly, these are supposed to be the most important stories of the day. So I was there for about 45 minutes to an hour, and I pretty much saw everything but headlines. The headlines were embarrassing. I mean, first you had Miley Cyrus, pop star Miley Cyrus, a controversial story involving Miley Cyrus, a video of Miley Cyrus blowing out her birthday cake. And she said something to the tune of, you've been smoking too much pot when your friends get you a Bob Marley cake. And there's a laugh, and the news people talk about it. Well, what was disturbing is that not only did they consider this to be headline news, they showed the story 2 times within 1 hour. I guess that's their format. To show the same stories over and over all day. They play them 1 hour out and they repeat the stories repeatedly. Well, just like I use the word repeat or a form of repeat in that last sentence. But but they played it again and again. And it wasn't the only story. They ran a story, mostly human interest pieces. They had a story about a Dallas cheerleader who was accidentally tackled by a football player. She made 2 tweets on Twitter, of course, and the team made her close her Twitter account. Yes, that was headline news. And you wonder why I don't watch television anymore. You wonder why, if I do watch TV shows, it's on Hulu or something. I refuse to turn on that cable box. My cable box is so dusty right now. I just put it off to the side. I don't even use it. Maybe I should turn it in. Maybe I should put it in another room because I don't watch it at all. It's you can't get any real information off the mainstream media anymore, it seems. And it wasn't even the only ridiculous story. There was this mind-numbing stuff. There was another story on Obama and the Obama family, and I think they went shopping somewhere. I mean, they went shopping somewhere. There was another story on the White House Christmas tree. The most serious story they had was a story on a Syracuse assistant coach who was fired because of allegations of child molestation, and apparently he molested some boys, and there's some talk about that. I'm not saying it's not significant, but ultimately they weren't focusing on anything that affected the vast majority of the population. They didn't focus on Europe. I didn't hear any talk of the financial crisis in Europe. Didn't hear anything about Italy. Didn't hear anything about what Germany's trying to do, where Germany's trying to put themselves in a position where they can still trade internationally, but they don't want to be held down by the EU, but they benefit from the EU in a lot of ways, and it helps them to export and trade in a lot of areas. That tricky situation they're in. I didn't hear anything like that on headline news. And I didn't hear anything about the National Defense Authorization Bill. I did a video on that on Dimcad, on my first channel. You can check that out. I didn't hear anything like that at all. At all. Nothing about the real economy. Nothing. It was basically People magazine. And I'm not trashing People Magazine, because People Magazine is a human interest, or a celebrity / human interest magazine, and that's okay. But when you call yourself headline news, you're supposed to actually show actual headlines regarding the political, social world, and more than that, just what affects people, most of the people, but the really serious stuff, things that changes our lives, things that affect our lives. But they weren't doing that. So I understand why so many people are so ignorant. And it's not that I'm the most intelligent person in the world, or that I know everything. I obviously don't. There's a lot I need to learn. But a big difference between me and a lot of people I come across is that I want to learn, and I seek the knowledge. And when I make mistakes, I acknowledge them. I try to learn from them. I don't just say, "Oh, I feel this way, therefore this is how the world works." Because anything that contradicts my worldview, I'm just going to ignore. So this is what I'm thinking about right now. This is why I think so many people are out of touch with reality. So many people lack information. They're talking about how great Black Friday was. Well, you know what? All those people shopping on Black Friday, I hope they were buying stuff that they actually needed. Because if they're buying crap, they're going to regret it really soon. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening to me talk. Tell me what you think. Don't forget, the future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Bye.